We're back. It's been a little while. What are we at? About 5-6 weeks from Kona, from our last video. Why don't you give everyone a little update on how things are going?
Wow. Kona feels like a lifetime ago, but I guess we need to find a new name for this series other than Fiona post Kona. So stay tuned for whatever we decide to name this. But yeah, it's been an action-packed 5 to 6 weeks. Welcome to the Clark County Turkey Trot. I have done virtually no intensity since it's Kona, so this might be a hot mess, but at least it'll be fun with a bunch of my friends from our city. So I expect nothing and hope that I make it to the end without exploding.
How was the 2024 Turkey Trot? 10K?
It was good and chaotic at the same time. I won the 10K, but the last 2 miles, as you can see, are overwhelmingly clogged with walkers, joggers, strollers, dogs, turkeys. So that made the last couple miles really hard to run much. But yeah, super happy. I'm not injured, and it was way less than 9 hours of activity. So 2 thumbs up.
And you beat me.
And I beat you. I beat the cameraman.
Number 1 goal.
Woohoo!
Particular thank you to Royal Restrooms. Again, Royal Restrooms, where you can go into the restroom and feel like...
No, right after Kona, it was obviously a little tough. The race didn't go quite as you had planned. What have you learned and taken away from that after a little bit of time and reflection?
I don't know what you're talking about. The plan the whole time was to spend 19 miles vomiting and peeing in my shoes and other things, so that seems like it was well executed to me. No, obviously it was a bit of a disaster, and it took me, I would say, 10 days to 2 weeks to really be able to think about what actually happened with my performance and to do so in a really objective way. And the first thing I turned to was, working with Precision Hydration, which is one of my sponsors, as well as my nutritionist, Kyla Chanel, to take a deeper look at what went wrong, what did I do that I shouldn't have done, And the first thing we kind of tracked down was that as I was getting hotter or feeling that I was hotter, I started taking in water a lot more. So I don't typically drink plain water in any of my training. It's just, but especially somewhere like Kona, you're sweating all the time and putting off a lot of electrolytes. So me drinking water totally screwed up the concentration of sodium that I was taking in and planned to take in. So I basically flooded my stomach with a whole bunch of extra water, and eventually my body just hit the eject button, and it did that efficiently and well. Yeah, it has been a roller coaster of life changes, and I've just had to roll with the punches quite a bit. I went back to work, which has been really hard, and I had planned on racing Indian Wells, which happened today, but clearly I'm not doing that. And we bought a house in Bend, and we'll be moving right after Christmas. So
tell people why are we moving to Bend?
That is a loaded question. We are moving to Bend because it's something that both Josh and I have wanted to and considered doing for a while. It's really hard to get out of Portland and ride safely, and we want to be able to run trails with Leif and have the outdoors be a much more accessible part of our lives. So we happened to go up and look at a couple of houses, found the dream home of at least my dreams, and I think you like it too. And everything just kind of fell into place rather quickly. So Output and Fiona and Josh are moving to Bend.
We're very excited. So 2024 is coming up, and tell people a little bit about some preliminary goals.
Well, first when I talked to my coach about everything after Kona and thought well, that was a bit of an epic fail. I can't confidently say that, this year was a success, and he kind of stopped me in my tracks, and this is what a good coach will do. They will give you perspective on how far you've come. And in 2022, my goals were at the end of the season to get my first podium, to make it to Kona, and to move up in the rankings. And then when I finished this year, although, whatever happened in Kona happened, but I got my first podium, I made it to Kona, and I moved up in the rankings. So it was objectively a success when I look at all the goals that I've met. So that's pretty neat. And then as from a life standpoint, I wanted to take time off to focus on training, and I took 4 months off my job, and I did the thing. So it's pretty neat to, get perspective at this point in the year and say okay, well, what am I going to do next year? So I obviously want to qualify for Nice, and race much better in Nice than I did in Kona. And then I would love to, qualify for 70.3 world champs in New Zealand. And additionally, I just want to have even more fun than I did this year. I think the more I make time to train with other people, the more fun I have when I'm training. So it's a huge goal of mine to try to do more sessions with other people more often than not. I also have a couple of fun projects in the back of my mind that I'd love to do, ride the length of Ireland. I think my first race will be in March, but TBD. I've just started to get back into training. I kind of mentioned it in the earlier part of this video, but I had planned on racing at the end of the season, but I think my body, brain, and just general stress was a little too high, and all my blood work started showing up kind of weird, and if your body is telling you no, it probably means just give it some rest. So that's what I ended up doing with the end of my season and some of my goals for next year. But thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Josh got an email this morning from a client of his whose daughter apparently is a fan of mine, which is kind of a weird thing to say. And the support now I'm gonna cry. The support I got both in Kona and afterwards has been incredible. So we're gonna keep doing this because it means a lot to me, and it seems to have brought some other people joy in following along. So Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
This will be one of the best races of her career so far. She has really stuck it out. Come on, Port Macquarie, give it up for our third place professional female from Ireland, Fiona Moriarty.
And you can see what it means to her. Well done, Fiona. She's had to battle all day with Meredith for that podium position.
Tears of joy. Disbelief that Fiona stand tall because you are on the podium at Ironman Australia.